From a very rainy CSI softball complex, CSI Sportsnet presents exclusive coverage of the 2019 CUNYAC Softball Championship. Our first matchup of this day 2 of the CUNYAC Softball Tournament features the John Jay College Bloodhounds taking on the Hunter College Hawks. In the first game of the day, the losers game, these two teams both dropping the last game they played yesterday. I should say the Hawks dropping the last game they played yesterday against CSI. The Bloodhounds splitting the pair they played yesterday, dropping the first game of the day to this same Hunter College Hawks team and then falling to Lehman College in their second game. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joe Foreman, joined by Mike Babuski, calling all of the action live from behind home plate during this day 2 of the CUNYAC Softball Championship. And Mike, both of us a bit surprised this game is getting underway, though it is long overdue. 2.5 hours late. The rain is still coming down here at the CSI Softball Complex, but it looks like we will have first pitch coming up shortly.
Yeah, you know, Joe, it looks like every time we get just about through with the rain storms, another one pops up behind it. And, you know, we looked and it looked like the rain was going to stop about 1 o'clock, and now it looks like one more shower may go through. So hopefully we'll get through this one last shower and we'll be able to get through the couple of games. Obviously, big games here this afternoon, Joe. The biggest problem, of course, being that, you know, all automatic bids to the NCAA must be done, I believe, by early tomorrow morning, or Monday morning, I should say. And with the weather looking as bad as it's going to look for tomorrow, the best alternative is to play the games here this afternoon, and that's what we're going to attempt here to do.
Well, it certainly does not look like playing tomorrow would be a possibility. I'm not sure if Monday is an option, but if it is, I have to say it may have been the better of the two choices here. We'll see. The weather certainly is not good right now. The rain is really coming down as we get underway from the CSI Softball Complex. We will do our best to bring you all of the action throughout the day, but if the weather necessitates, we will have to break down. Of course, we'd love to get to the Dolphins games, which are coming up next. CSI will take on the winner of this first matchup of day 2. Coming up next, weather permitting. But first, the Bloodhounds and Hawks about to get started with Tommy Mandel leading things off for John Jay.
Yeah, so it's the Bloodhounds trying to come back. You know, they met yesterday, Joe, in the first game, and Hunter able to win that one 8-0 in an abbreviated 5-inning game. So the Bloodhounds looking to bounce back here this afternoon. And while we have a minute, let's bring you the Bloodhound lineups. It'll be Tommy Mandel leading off at catching, Jessica Barbera at center field batting second, Mariella Guzman at third base batting third, Alice Marie Rivera at first base, she'll bat fourth. Ashley Scafali will be the designated player. Julianne Grappel will be in right field. Isela Salcido will be the left fielder.
As the first pitch of the game is finally thrown, it's in for strike one.
Nicole Lopez will be the second baseman, she'll bat eighth. And Brianna Schmidt will be the shortstop batting ninth.
So we are underway over 2.5 hours late from the CSI Softball Complex on this day 2 of the Softball Championship. And quickly, Tommy Mandel behind in the count, 0-2.
And Carolyn Babula on the mound, Joe, for the Hawks here in Game 1. And, of course, Carolyn, a 4-year starter for the Hunter College Hawks. A lot of experience on the mound for Hunter here this afternoon in Game 1.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and that's topped foul. I'll work on getting the scoreboard for you in between innings, as I'll have to reconfigure that to reflect today's match. We'll take care of that following the top half of the first, as Mandel will get another look at a 1-2 pitch upcoming.
Yeah, the Bloodhounds and the Hawks played 2 scoreless innings yesterday, Joe, before Hunter able to pull out in front and really pull ahead and win the game after 5.
It was a long day yesterday at the CSI Softball Complex. Our final game extended well into the evening hours. I think we wrapped up at about 8:30, 9 p.m. here at the College of Staten Island. As the 2-2 pitch is lofted into shallow right field, and that drops for a leadoff base hit as I had to await the throw over to first base. We do have a second infield camera that I'll also have to check on in between innings. That camera's not operating right now, so we'll have to go with the wide shot for any base hit.
Yeah, that one, Joe, bounced right in front of Elena Veza. She came in quickly and got the ball over to Bracke at first, but not in time. So the Bloodhounds with a leadoff base hit to get started here this afternoon.
Leadoff base runner for John Jay, and That base runner could be erased quickly as that one's lined into right field. The catch is made, throw back to first, not in time as, Mike, it looks like the slick conditions already playing a role is out there in right field. Alana Veza lost her footing and probably cost the Hawks an out.
Yeah, there's no doubt that cost the Hawks the double play, Joe. It's been really raining all day here today, so the outfield is pretty wet. The infield looks in excellent condition, and, a great job once again by the CSI grounds crew, and, of course, the athletic staff that plays a big role in keeping this field ready to play here this afternoon.
There are so many responsible for this game getting underway as early as it did, and I'm saying as early as it did without making a mistake about it. This game, of course, was scheduled to get started at 11 p.m. That did not happen, and instead we get started at about 1:35, and that wouldn't have been possible without the work of our grounds crew and athletic staff, so a big shout-out to them for making the field playable. I'm not sure how long it will stay that way. We may see some maintenance in between innings as well, but right now it's a 1-1 count with one away in the top half of the first, and that pitch is in for a called strike two.
Joe, let's get you the Hunter infield quickly. Anna Marie Rivera is at first base. Nicole Lopez at second. Brianna Smith at short. And Mariella Guzman around at third.
They'll throw behind the runner over at first, and Mandel slides back in safely. Two balls and two strikes the count. That's popped up. Foul.
The outfield for the Hawks here this afternoon, Joe, is Zelia Salido in left field. The center fielder is Jessica Barbaria. I'm sorry, those are the Bloodhound fielders. I apologize, Joe.
We'll get through that Hunter College Hawks lineup shortly. As the 2-2 pitch is hit slowly on the ground. Coming out of the circle is Babula, who makes the throw over to first in time to retire Guzman for the second out. Moving up to second was Mandel. Yeah,
and you saw Babula slip on the play as well on that throw over to first, Joe. So good play by Babula to get the out, and Hunter gets a runner. John Jay gets a runner in scoring position now with two out.
That will bring up Anne-Marie Rivera, leading hitter on this John Jay squad. Comes in hitting at .467 on the season. She makes contact early, hits it right back toward the circle. And that's a second consecutive putout for Babula to retire John Jay in their half of the first. Bloodhound stranded runner in scoring position failed to get on the scoreboard in the top half of inning number one. We'll head into the bottom half of the first inning with no score.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
And we're back from the CSI softball complex as the first pitch of the bottom half of inning number one is in for a called strike one to Erin Schwiers. And the 0-1 is off the glove of Mandel. It rolls just a few feet away.
Let's get you the Hawk lineup here in between pitches. It'll be Erin Schweers leading off and playing second. Alana Veza in right field. She'll bat second. Carolyn Babula pitching and batting third. Brittany Salvador, the third baseman, batting fourth.
And the 1-1 pitch misses downstairs for ball 2.
Samantha Malloy will be in left field and bat fifth. Allie Bricke will play first base, batting sixth. Jamie Durso, the shortstop, batting seventh. Gianna Rinaldi will be catching.
And that's in for a called strike 2.
And batting eighth. And Kayla Pilati will be in center field, and she'll bat ninth for the first place Hunter College Hawks, Joe, who won the regular season CUNYAC championship here in 2019.
And the Hawks and Bloodhounds both within one defeat of seeing their season end. On the day, they will need 3 victories to secure a CUNYAC championship. Not an easy thing to do, as that one misses for ball 4. So it's a leadoff walk issued by Williamson in the circle for John Jay.
That's the 20th time Erin Schweers has walked this year, Joe, leading the team coming into the game batting .338. So a good start for the Hawks. She's also 14 of 15 in stolen bases.
First pitch misses downstairs, thinking about moving up to second with Schweers, but she will hold. Oh, 0-1 the count. And a pitch from Williamson is bunted, foul down the third baseline. Alana Veza at the plate for the Hawks. There you get a look at her numbers on the season. Hitting a formidable .365.
She also had that long home run at the end of the game yesterday, Joe, against the College of Staten Island, coming in batting .343 on the year, 24 of 70, a double, 8 doubles, a triple, a homer, and 12 RBIs.
Here comes the 0-2, and that's popped up foul behind the plate. And we'll do it again, 0-2.
So to give you the Bloodhound defense while they're in the field, Anna Marie Rivera at first, Nicole Lopez at second, Brianna Schmidt at short, Mariella Guzman at third.
That one's hit into shallow right center field, falling fast and coming on to make an incredible diving catch out there in center field was Jessica Barbaria. What a grab out there to prevent a base hit and hold Schweers at first base.
Yeah, that was a great diving catch, Joe, like you mentioned, and it looked like Hunter might have been in business with 2 on. Instead, 1 up, 1 out now with a runner on first base.
That will bring up Caroline Bibula. And the first pitch is hit slowly on the ground to first. And that's an easy play over there at first base for Anne-Marie Rivera for the second out. Hawks do move a runner into scoring position with that ground out. Both teams put a runner in scoring position in their half of the first. That will bring up Brittany Salvador with a chance to chase home the game's first run. Salvador takes a big swing and a miss at that high fastball for strike 1. There you get a look at the numbers for Salvador. Comes in hitting at .395. A lot of big batting averages in this Hunter College lineup. A very dangerous group.
Yeah, and a lot of veteran players as well, Joe, on this team as well. And, you know, this is a team that's faced the Dolphins in the finals 3 out of the last 4 years. So they have a lot of experience playing deep into the conference tournament.
Well, dare I say it, Mike, it seems like the sun is beginning to shine a bit over the CSI softball complex. First time we've seen the sun all day long, as that is fouled straight back. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and hopefully, Joe, the weather will clear up and we'll get a good rest of the afternoon here for CUNY Championship softball.
Hopefully so, as my iPad is positioned on my lap right now. Of no use to me there, as that's hit into right center field. Barbaria won't be able to get to this one, and that falls. The first run of the game will come home. As scoring from second is Schweers, and the Hawks take an early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's a big at-bat and a big 2-out RBI that time for Brittany Salvador, and she came in leading the Hawks in RBIs with 30 on the year. She picks up her 31st RBI, and it's a big one, Joe, with 2 outs to give the Hawks an early 1-0 lead.
And that will bring up Samantha Malloy. There you get a look at the numbers for Malloy. Another big batting average in this Hawks lineup as they'll throw behind the runner over at first. And no play there.
Yeah, Malloy batting .391, Joe. She also has 10 doubles, a homer, and 25 RBIs.
Those some big numbers for the Hawks' 5th place hitter as that one's topped foul down the third base line.
Let's get you Brittany Williamson's pitching numbers, Joe, while we have a chance. She's 2-4 on the year, a 9.17 ERA. This is her 12th appearance, her 7th start. She has 4 complete games in 34 1/3 innings. She's allowed 50 hits, 46 walks, 35 earned, walked 29, struck out 25, and opponents are batting .336 against her in 2019.
The iPad is out. The element's no longer a threat. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. I'll have those live stats for me the rest of the way. And I am going to continue to work on the scoreboard in this next break in between innings. If we can't get it up and running for this game, we'll use the manual scoreboard and proceed with getting our live updating scoreboard working for Game 2 between the Dolphins and the winner of this Game 1. As that's popped up foul behind the plate. Good play there by Mandel to make the catch for the final out of the inning, but not before the Hawks get on the scoreboard early. A first inning run puts Hunter ahead 1-0. Bloodhounds come to bat in the top of the second when we return.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at...
And we're back as Ashley Sclafani, the designated player, will lead things off for the Bloodhounds. Her team trailing by a run, entering the top half of the second inning, and she quickly looks at a ball upstairs for ball 1. That evens the count at 1. Right before we came back from break, she took a first pitch strike. And that's taken for ball 2, so quickly a 2-1 count on Sclafani.
Sclafani coming into the game batting .250 on the year. She's 16 of 46, just 1 extra base hit at a double and 6 RBIs.
And she fouls that one off of her foot. That runs the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's in for a called strike 3. So Babula picks up the strikeout for out number 1 in the second as Sclafani is set down looking.
That's Babula's first strikeout of the game, Joe, and a good time to give you her numbers quickly. She's 3-4 on the year at 3.34 ERA in 35 2/3 innings.
As Julianne Grape will be the batter.
She's allowed 38 hits, 22 runs, 17 earned, walked 10, and struck out 21.
There you get a look at the numbers for Grape on the season, a .250 hitter coming into today's action, and she's quickly in a 2-strike hole. Babula working quickly. Here comes her 0-2 pitch. And that is just off the outside corner, running the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, very close pitch that time, taken there by Grapel. Down in the count now, 1-2.
Here comes the 1-2, and that's swung on and missed. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Caroline Babula, and there are 2 away.
Yeah, so Babula is starting to pitch a little bit better, and you know, the sun coming out, Joe, and it's supposed to be warm this afternoon, so I think we're going to get a nice window here to get in the remainder of the CUNY finals.
It certainly looks promising right now as that's hit out into left field, and another great play in the outfield brings the inning to a close, this time for the Hawks, as that was Samantha Malloy making the grab along the left field line to bring the top half of the second to a close. Our score remains 1-0 in favor of Hunter College. When we come back, the bottom half of the second inning from the CSI Softball Complex on this day 2 of the 2019 CUNYAC Softball Championship.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt. And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet. Shoebox. Under the bed.
Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
And we're back from the College of Staten Island. Hawks leading the Bloodhounds 1-0 on this day 2 of the CUNYAC Softball Championship 2019. And for the Hawks in their half of the second, it will be 6, 7, and 8, with Allie Bricker getting things started for the Hawks in the bottom half of the second. And she fouls the first pitch she sees straight back for strike 1.
Bricker having a great year for the Hawks, 28 of 58. That's .483, 7 doubles, a triple, and 18 RBIs.
There you get a look at the batting numbers for Bricker this season. Certainly a formidable hitter up there at the plate. Looking to get things started for the Hawks in their half of the second, as that misses low for ball 2. One ball and 1 strike the count, as Williamson working a bit slower than her counterpart in the circle thus far. And the 1-1 off-speed pitch misses outside for ball 2. Noticeable dip in velocity on that last pitch. And Bricker wasn't tempted by it. Here comes the 2-1. And that's down and in for ball 3. And we saw a leadoff walk get the previous inning started. That runner ultimately came around to score. Erin Schwiers, and now Bricker ahead in the count 3-1 on the verge of earning a free pass of her own. Here comes the 3-1. That's it on the ground through the left side and into left field for a leadoff single. Allison Bricker with the second Hunter College base hit, and once again the Hawks have the leadoff runner on to open up an inning.
You know, Joe, the Hunter Hawks are coming in with a great deal of purpose here this afternoon. I think you could see it in their play, and, you know, they were down 8-0 in the game against the Dolphins yesterday. Were able to close it to drop that game by a score of 9-5, and I think they're looking to get back in action here this afternoon. And, you know, Joe, we mentioned the championship pedigree of this Hawks team since 2013. They played the Dolphins in the championship round of the CUNYAC tournament every year except for 2018.
For those wondering, I'm working on a scoreboard for you right now. I have to build that graphic, so once that's finished, we will have our scoreboard up on the screen. As getting back into the hit column are the Hawks, as that one is lined into shallow left field. It falls down the line, and it's a single for Jamie Durso, putting 2 Hawks on base. Still nobody out, and Gianna Raimondi coming to bat.
Yeah, Durso put that one right over the head of the third baseman on that play, and the Hawks in business once again. 2 on, no one out here in the second. And, you know, we mentioned yesterday, Joe, these two teams met in game number 1, and the Hawks were able to close it out in 5 innings. And, you know, with they're looking to play against the Dolphins here this afternoon, they're looking to do the same.
As once again, it's Raimondi making contact, and John Jay unable to record the out over at second base. We'll see how that one is scored. And I'll let you know when I find out. But either way, it loads the bases for Hunter College. Still nobody out. And that will bring up Kayla Pilati. Bases loaded with Hawks for Pilati, who looks to pitch upstairs for ball 1.
So that's going to be scored an error, Joe, on the second baseman. So the Hawks with the bases loaded and no one out, looking to break this one open here in the second.
Big opportunity for Hunter College to jump out to a nice lead early, but that won't do it as that's swung on and missed by Pilati for strike 1. Pilati, the 9th-place hitter for Hunter College. It will be back to the top of the order from here.
Pilati batting .361 on a Hawks team that's batting .389.
And that one is over the outstretched glove of Lopez and into right field for a base hit. And they'll throw behind the runner, trying to score. Initially now caught in a rundown, and the throw gets away and rolls to the backstop. 2 Hawks runners overlapping and sliding in, and being tagged out at the plate was Durso. And she could not believe the call. She didn't like it. I don't think Ralph Maroney did either, but the Hawks will have to settle for a single run as Durso was hung up between third and home, and it looked like she might have gotten in ahead of the tag. A close play at the plate, Mike, but she's ruled out.
Yeah, you know, Joe, I thought she was safe on the play as well, but it was a close play at the plate. But, you know, the Hawks already with 2 runs in, runners at second and third, and just 1 out here in the second. So it looks like the Hawks are about to break this one open.
Certainly looks good for Hunter College right now as that's taken for ball 1 by Erin Schwiers. Schwiers walked to get things started. As I'm almost done building that scoreboard, it should be on your screen in just a few moments.
Trying to think of what the scoring would be on that last out, Joe, for the Bloodhounds. As the ball was thrown to the plate, and I believe it was Williamson that picked it up and came out and tagged the runner as they were coming home. And I think the catcher also touched the ball, so I'm not sure if she would get. Yeah, so the 9-2-5-1 will be the scoring on the put out officially here for the first out of the game as John Jay going to the mound. And with 1 out here in the second inning, the Hawks are ready with 2 runners in and 2 runners in scoring position.
Williamson running into some trouble in the circle in this half inning. That last put out, huge benefit to her as we do have our scoreboard on your screen right now as that one is in for a called strike to Schwiers.
Schwiers led off the game and scored the first Hawk run of the afternoon.
And that one's hit down the right field line, well foul.
So a big moment in the game here for Williamson is, you know, the Bloodhounds were shut out in their last game against Hunter College. So, Joe, to stay in the game here, they really need to put the lid on this Hunter rally right here.
We'll see if they can do just that. Williamson 1 strike away from picking up a huge punch out. That won't do it as it sails upstairs for ball 2. fill out the inning on that scoreboard just a moment. It's the bottom of the second right now at the CSI softball complex. And that one called the ball. And Mike, did that hit the batter?
Yes, it did.
All right, that's a hit by pitch. As that will definitely will cost the Hawks a run at the moment, but it will reload the bases, and that will bring up Alana Veza.
Yeah, Veza already up for the second time, and it took a great diving catch in right field by Julianne Grappel to get her out in the first. She's 0 for 1.
And that one's lined into center field for another Hawks base hit. That will be their 5th. The throw is cut off in the circle by Williamson, but not before the 3rd Hunter College run comes home. Their 2nd of this inning. Hawks now lead 3-0.
Yeah, the Hawks have been able to hit the ball hard coming right out of the gate here this afternoon. 3 runs in, 3 runners on, bases loaded, and it looks like we're going to have a pitching change here, Joe.
It certainly appears that way, as trotting in from right field, I believe that's Graypole coming in to take her position in the circle for the Hawks. She'll receive the mask from the dugout, and that's all for Williamson, who sees her day come to a close after 1 1/3 innings. And we'll step aside with this pitching change, and when we come back, it will be Julianne Graypole in the circle for John Jay College, with her team trailing by 3 runs in this final day of the 2019 CUNYAC Softball Championship.
We got 17 coming in for 3 in the flex spot.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere,
Very
this
short break
concrete
in the
barrier
action
just
following
popped
the
up.
pitching change.
Maybe it was a
as
semi.
we are back from the CSI softball complex, and right now it's the Hawks leading John Jay 3-0 in the bottom half of the second inning. Pitching change for the Bloodhounds, as we mentioned, going into break, as that's in for a called strike 1 to Caroline Bibula. She's the pitcher for the Hawks, already getting her second plate appearance. She's 0 for 1 in the game. Count runs to 2-1 on Bibula. She bats with the bases loaded in the midst of a Hunter College rally, which has seen 2 runs come home already, and that runs the count to 3-1, Mike. So now Graypole in danger of forcing home a run.
So Davika Prashad will go in and play right field and be the flex player for the Bloodhounds.
And that will indeed force in a run, Mike, as that's ball 4. Bibula draws the 5-pitch walk, and her team now leads 4-0.
Yeah, that pitcher a little bit close, but not close enough, as Bibula will pick up an RBI, and the Bloodhounds threatening to get up to 8 here in the second, Joe, as they lead 4-0. Still have the bases loaded, and 2 of their best hitters coming up in Brittany Salvador and Samantha Malloy. So big moment in the game here early on for the Bloodhounds, who already find themselves down by 4 runs.
We'll see if they can stop the bleeding, as that misses upstairs for ball 1. And this is Brittany Salvador at the plate. Had a base hit in her first at-bat.
Yeah,
drove in a run.
Sorry, Joe. Bloodhound struggling from the mound all year long. Grappel coming in with a 6.58 ERA.
And that's fouled back.
She's 7-10 on the year. 18 starts, 19 appearances, 13 complete games. Has allowed 137 hits in 94 in the 3rd innings.
Here comes the 1-1, and that's down low for ball 2.
8th play at a bat here already for the Hawks, who still have the bases loaded with just 1 out.
I thought that was down low for ball 2, but the count on the scoreboard reads 1 ball and 2 strikes. That'll be changed, as that one gets by Mandel, rolls to the backstop, And coming home to score was Schweers. Not sure if she touched the plate at first, but she goes back to make certain of it. And it is now 5-0 Hawks early in this one, bottom half of the second.
Yeah, you know, that's going to be scored a pass ball. I'm pretty sure that will allow the run to score, and it's pouring on the Bloodhounds early. And, you know, of course, Joe, the problem with these one-and-done games, when you fall behind early, it's tough to stay in the game mentally. So let's see what the Bloodhounds could do here. But Grappel has been struggling, and it looks like she might have a little bit of damage to her pitching hand.
You certainly hate to see that, especially in this situation. If you're John Jay or in any game, never want to see a player go down with an injury, but this will delay the action for just a few moments. And once again, I'll run through the implications of this game. The winner moves on to play the College of Staten Island coming up next. But whichever team advances will have to win 2 games against CSI in order to secure the CUNYAC championship and deny the Dolphins yet another title. Certainly won't be an easy task, as the Dolphins played very well yesterday, swinging some hot bats, and we'll see if that continues into this afternoon.
Well, you know, Joe, the Hawks came in the strong favorite here, obviously, in this first game this afternoon, and nothing through the first inning and a third has done anything to dispel us of that notion. So the Hawks are looking good. They're going to advance shortly to play Staten Island. And, you know, then we'll see. And, you know, we mentioned before, Joe, these are clearly the 2 best teams in the CUNYAC Conference. And, you know, they battled each other all year long. The Dolphins got an early leg up yesterday, but suffered the big injury. So it should be a very interesting afternoon to finish this championship Saturday here at the CSI softball complex. And, you know, we haven't even mentioned the fact, Joe, that baseball hopefully will get started up the hill very shortly.
Well, I don't know if we had an official start time for baseball yet. I thought I heard at one point 2 o'clock, but I don't hear any noise coming from the CSI baseball complex right now, so I don't think they're underway yet, but once they are, we'll check out the live stats online, provide you with some updates. Dolphins and Bearcats playing up the hill this afternoon, and Dolphins will need 2 victories in order to earn the CUNYAC championship. The Bearcats only need 1, so could be a long day for CSI, as that's popped up into right field. And making the catch is Prashad, who, as you mentioned, Mike, checked in with Grapel moving into the circle. And that is the second out of the inning.
Yeah, big out there that time for Grapel, as now she'll face Samantha Malloy as the Hawks have batted around here in the second inning.
It's been a strong start at the plate for Hunter College, to say the least. Tough day in the circle so far for John Jay as well. Still plenty of time left in this one, as the first pitch of this at-bat is in for a called strike 1 to Samantha Malloy.
You know, Joe, the Bloodhounds down just 5-0. If they can get back in the dugout now, you got to believe they feel they have a chance.
Well, that might do it right there, as that's grounded over to short. Throw over to first was in time, but Rivera came off the first base bag, and she didn't get up quickly enough to prevent a second run from coming home on the play. 2 runs in to score. Veza and Bibula both coming in with the 6th and 7th Hunter College runs, and it's a 7-run lead for the Hawks early in the bottom half of the second.
Yeah, and the Bloodhounds are going to ask for an appeal to the home plate umpire, as, you know, they felt that Anna Marie Rivera had her foot on the bag, and, you know, that's the difference between a ground out and 2 runs scoring, and Bloodhounds were in enough trouble down 5-0, Joe, and it looks like they're now going to be down 7-0, but you know, let's wait just a minute as the umpires are huddling out down by the first base line.
Well, this being championship weekend, we have 3 umpires calling the action. We'll see if that is enough to overturn the call. It would be a 2-run call, denying the Hawks runs 6 and 7. And the call will not be changed, so the score will remain 7-0 Hunter College. And they are indeed underway up at baseball. Just got started. They're in the bottom half of the first inning in a scoreless game. So that is the situation up the hill from us right now. We'll continue to update you throughout this game. And we'll talk a bit more baseball and perhaps get the live stats scoreboard up on your screen if this one gets out of hand early. And that one's ripped into left field. It falls for a base hit. And right there, wasting no time, was Allie Bricker, and she rips a base hit into left field, and that puts 2 Hawks on with 2 away for Jamie Durso.
Yeah, so the Hawks continuing to pump out offensively, and I'm not sure how that ground ball was ruled that allowed.
It's a base hit, Mike.
A base hit on the play and 2 RBIs? Well, just 1 RBI. So a single and an RBI on the play for the Hawks. And, you know, Joe, they've broken it open now. They lead by a score of 7-0. And, you know, with 1 more run, they could put this game in the mercy rule situation after just 2 innings.
Well, that would be an early mercy situation and would leave the Bloodhounds, almost said the Hawks, with 3 innings to get into the run column and get back within at least 7. And that one's bunted foul for strike 2 by Durso. 2 away in the bottom half of the second. 6 runs already home in the inning for Hunter College, on top of 1 more they scored back in the first. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and that's slapped foul.
Yeah, Durso, the 11th Hawk to bat here. As they've come out and they've hit the ball hard. They hit the ball hard off of Williamson, and they've continued to hit Grappel here as well.
Here comes the 1-2, and I think Durso just got a piece of that one, and she will stay alive. Durso already with a base hit in this game. As you said, Mike, the Hawks have batted around in their half of the second. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that one gets a short ways away from Mandel, but that's enough to move both runners up a base. Now 2 in scoring position, still 2 outs. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Durso.
Yes, the Bloodhounds struggling out in the field here, and the Hawks with 2 in scoring position.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and that's off the glove of Mandel, but both runners will hold. I mentioned this Durso's second at bat of the inning after the Hawks have batted around, and she singled down the left field line. Second Hawk to bat in this inning, now at the plate for the second time. Looking to add another base hitter, at least reach and keep this inning going, and she'll do just that as she draws the walk. A good at bat there from Durso, fought off a couple of tough pitches, works out the base on balls, and that will bring up, I have to get back to my lineup card in just a moment, and it will be Gianna Raimondi.
Yeah, Raimondi reached on an error as the Hawks have loaded the bases once again with 2 out.
We've already said that quite a few times in this inning. Bases loaded with Hawks, and that is the case right now as Raimondi's ahead in the count 1-0.
Yeah, Grappel has only retired 1 batter since she came in to the game here, so Hunter continuing to strike.
And quickly, Grappel falls behind 2-0. We've already seen 1 run forced in on a walk. Could see another right here if things don't change quickly. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. And that misses for ball 3. So Bloodhounds laboring through this inning in the circle, simply cannot record the final out as the count is 3-0. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. And that's not even close. Down in the dirt for ball 4. And that will bring home the 8th Hawks run of this game. They are now ahead by 8, Mike, and that means we could see this game end in 5 if the Bloodhounds fail to score.
Well, you know, the Bloodhounds didn't score against the Hawks in game number 1, Joe, and, you know, we mentioned it a little bit earlier. You know, you could see Hunter was out here ready to take care of business, and they've done that so far here this afternoon. They've blown this game open early, and, you know, they're trying to send their own message to the Dolphins for the next game.
We'll see how that message is received, if it is indeed the Hawks moving on. Certainly looks like that will be the case right now, but still plenty of time left in this game. As Kayla Pilati is the batter. She's 1 for 1 in the game. And she hits one well out to center field, but ranging back and getting underneath it to make the catch is Barbaria for the final out of the inning, but not before 7 Hunter College runs come home to score. They now lead by 8. Our score 8-0 heading into the third. We'll be right back with more 2019 CUNYAC Championship Softball when we return on CSI Sportsnet.
Oh, listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you feel the sun?
And we're back from the College of Staten Island. It's a big lead for Hunter College early in this game as they are out to an 8-0 lead over John Jay College. But we do have a scoring update from over at baseball. It's CSI 2-0 over Bracke, not in the bottom half of the second. I believe it's actually the top half of the second inning right now. Nope, still the bottom of the first, so I'll have to change that. But in the bottom of the first up at baseball, it is Dolphins 2 and Bearcats 0.
Yeah, you know, the Bearcats had a big 4-2 win in the game yesterday, Joe, a game we had for you right here on CSI Sportsnet. And, you know, the Dolphins made just a couple of key errors in that game, Joe, and Bracke played themselves a very clean, very crisp game, got a great pitching effort by Paul Sierakowski, and were able to come away with a 4-2 victory. Dolphins looking to bounce back in game number 2 this afternoon and force it to a winner-take-all game 3 at the CSI Baseball Complex.
Should be a very interesting day if the Dolphins are able to force a decisive game 3 in that CUNYAC Championship Series. And we could very well have both Dolphins teams playing at the same time, with one team at the top of the hill at baseball and the other down here in front of us at softball. Of course, both teams riding streaks of consecutive CUNYAC championships won, and we'll look to keep that going this afternoon. And Mike, I hate to say it, but we could end up being here a while. The weather is cooperating right now, but of course we had rain earlier in the day. Looks like it's clear to this point, but there are showers forthcoming later. So we'll see if they ultimately get all of the games in. We certainly hope so. And the action about to get resumed.
I feel good about a lot of sunshine for the remainder of the afternoon, Joe.
That's what I like to hear, as we're back from the CSI softball complex, and the first pitch of the third inning is taken for ball 1. Nicole Lopez at bat for the Bloodhounds.
Yeah, Lopez batting for the first time this afternoon, batting .269 on the year.
And she hits one softly on the ground to third. And Salvador plays it on the backhand and throws out Lopez for the first out.
Yeah, and, you know, one of the problems the Bloodhounds have here this afternoon, Joe, is that, you know, they are a little bit limited offensively, batting just .295 as a team with 143 runs scored for the year.
Well, I apologize for the typo on the scoreboard. I'll have to ask about the issue right now. Whenever I try and update the baseball score, it changes all of my scoreboard graphics, so I may have to create a new one.
Brianna Smith batting .224 on the year.
As that's bunted foul, but you are watching 2019 CUNYAC Softball Championship coverage on CSI Sportsnet. Our score 8-0 Hunter in the top half of the third. CUNYAC Baseball Championship taking place right up the hill. Dolphins leading the Bearcats in the second game of their 3-game set by a score of 2-0. Count 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, Joe, don't we have any CUNY reads for the game?
It's a good question, Mike. I was not provided any, though. I may have them on my phone, so I'll have to ask if those are in use today, as that's thrown on to first base, and 2 quick outs in the top half of the third. And back to the top of the order for John Jay with Tommy Mandel.
Yeah, Mandel got the only hit of the game for the Bloodhounds, leading off the game. So she's 1 for 1 here this afternoon.
First pitch to Mandel is down and away for a ball.
Mandel, third in batting on the Bloodhounds, batting .337 on the year. 6 doubles, 7 RBIs.
And she hits one out to deep right center field, and that's into the gap for an extra base hit. Mandel's second base hit of the game. She'll take the turn and head for third, and she will slide in safely with a 2-out triple. John Jay with their second base hit of the game, both belonging to Mandel, and they have a runner on third with 2 outs.
Yeah, so Mandel gets her first triple of the year as she drives that ball into the right center field gap, and she showed her speed as well as she was able to make it into third base easily and give the Bloodhounds an opportunity to get on the scoreboard here with 2 out.
2 away, Barberia at the plate looking to chase home Mandel from third, and she looks at a called strike 1.
Nice pitch that time by Babula, taking something off that and having Barbera off balance.
And that is in for a called strike 2, so Barberia quickly in a 2-strike hole, look to battle back and stay in this at bat.
Coming back with exactly the same pitch on pitch number 2.
Here comes the 0-2, and that just missed. So Barberia will see at least one more.
And I agree, Joe, that just missed.
Here comes the 1-2, and that misses away, evening the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And that's hit well out to straightaway left, but parked right underneath it, and making the catch was Samantha Malloy for the final out of the inning. So John Jay denied their first run of the game. They strand Mandel at third. She tripled with 2 outs, nothing more for the Bloodhounds in the third. We head into the bottom half of inning number 3 with the Hawks leading the Bloodhounds 8-0. We'll be right back with more exclusive 2019 CUNYAC Softball Championship coverage.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do it like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same.
Gotta get the boys. Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
First time I tried Vicodin, it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
And we're back from the CSI softball complex. Bottom of the third from the College of Staten Island with the Hawks leading the Bloodhounds 8-0. And the first pitch of this half inning is in for a called strike 1.
Sophia's already batting, Joe, for the 3rd time. She's been on base twice, walked, hit by a pitch, scored twice.
It's been a good day to this point for Schwiers, and she'll look to continue that. Looking to join the hit parade for Hunter College. One of 3 Hawks in the starting lineup without a base hit in the game. Though she has reached in both of her at-bats, and doesn't look like she will do so right here as the throw over to first just in time. Good stretch by Rivera to ensure that the Bloodhounds pick up a quick out number 1.
Yeah, nice defensive play that time by the shortstop. Come up with that roller as Schmidt got it over to Rivera in time. 1 up, 1 down for the Hawks. As they have their leadoff batter retired for the first time here this afternoon.
That one's hit in the air on the infield, and making the sliding catch was Lopez, and quickly there are 2 Hawks retired in the bottom half of the third. That will bring up Caroline Babula. Babula's 0 for 1 in the game. And that one finds its way to the backstop. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That's down and away for ball 2, so command has been an issue for Grapel so far in this game. Has missed with quite a few, has already issued 3 walks. And that misses for ball 3, so Babula ahead in the count 3-0 on the verge of drawing a 2-out walk. And that one finds the zone for a called strike. And that's in for strike 2, so Grapel finding her way back into the at-bat, has run the count full on Babula. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here comes the payoff pitch, and that's lofted into shallow right center field for a base hit. That will roll into the left center field gap. And falling around first base was Babula, but she gets back to her feet, and she's okay.
So the Hawks pick up their 8th base hit of the afternoon as Babula gets to first base, and she picks up her first hit of the afternoon, and now it'll be Brittany Salvador, the batter. Salvador already 1 for 2 on the afternoon with an RBI for Hunter College as they lead by a score of 8-0 here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
So Babula dumps a single into left center to give the Hawks a 2-out base runner, and that's hit on the ground over to short, and going the short way with it for the final out are the Bloodhounds, and they will keep Hunter College off of the scoreboard for the first time in the bottom half of the 3rd. When we come back, top of the 4th inning, John Jay comes to bat, trailing 8-0 on this day 2 of the CUNYAC Softball Championship.
I got a crick in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. But I don't wanna get on. It's very sad all that I can do was remember you. You know I usually say no, but if you throw me love, I'll throw it some more.
And we're back from the College of Staten Island. Hawks leading the Bloodhounds 8-0 entering the 4th inning. And Mike, much like we saw yesterday, the Hawks playing very well. Came up short against the Dolphins. Their bats did come alive late in that game, and looks like that's carried over into day 2.
Yeah, you know, they've come out. They've played very well here this afternoon. They find themselves just 6 shutout outs away from advancing into the championship round against the College of Staten Island. And, you know, Joe, we mentioned it before, a very familiar place for Hunter to be because they've been in the championship round every year since 2013, with the exception of last year when Lehman was able to make it into the finals.
And that was certainly an upset in that game. Not many of us saw that coming, but Lehman knocked off Hunter College after the Hawks found themselves in the losers game last year as well to begin day 2, and Lehman moved on to take on the College of Staten Island, but dropped that game, and CSI secured another CUNYAC championship. As we have another quick out in this one. That pop out quickly retires Guzman for out number 1, and that will bring up Anne-Marie Rivera.
Yeah, Guzman now 0 for 2 on the afternoon, and Rivera will come up for her second plate appearance. She's 0 for 1. She grounded back to the mound in the 1st.
And the first pitch she sees is hit sharply on the ground to second, but an easy play for Schwiers. And there are 2 quick outs in the top half of the 4th.
Yeah, Hunter coming out and getting 2 outs on 3 pitches here against the Bloodhounds in the top of the 4th.
That will bring up Ashley Sclafani. Sclafani 0 for 1. And she looks at a called strike 1.
Babula, the junior player for the Hawks in the circle today, coming out, pitching a great game. He's got a 2-hit shutout going so far, Joe, through 3 2/3 innings.
As I said in the previous inning, both hits belong to Tommy Mandel for John Jay. They've had nothing else. Did threaten to score in the first, failed to do so, and that one's lined into the third base coaching box and makes contact with the coach down there. You actually caught that on your camera. One ball and 2 strikes, the count on Sclafani. And Babula's pitch is taken just outside, evening the count at 2-2. Babula looking for strikeout number 3 right here. Picked up back-to-back punch-outs earlier in the game. Hasn't recorded a strikeout since. And just getting a piece was Sclafani. Might be a tough play, and the throw is not in time as Durso gave it all she had on that one. Throw doesn't get to first quickly enough to retire Sclafani, who is on with a 2-out infield single.
Yes, Sclafani had just a little bit too much speed. That play is, that time the ball bounced in the hole between short and third. Salvador thought about playing it, Joe, but let it go through to Dorso, and by the time she was able to get it over to first, it was too late to catch Sclafani.
Grapel will be the batter, the Bloodhounds pitcher, and she looks at a called strike 1.
0 for 1 this afternoon for Grapel, Joe. She struck out in the second.
And she swings and misses for strike 2. So the Bloodhounds pitcher quickly in a 2-strike hole at the plate, looking to keep this half inning alive with her team trailing by 8 runs. Bloodhounds need whatever they can get. And that one misses for a ball.
Yeah, that one just a little high and away.
1 ball and 2 strikes the count, and Babula's pitch sails upstairs for ball 2. Here comes the 2-2 offering, and Grapel lays off downstairs. Holding it first was Sclafani as that one wound up in the dirt.
Yeah, Babula tried to take something off of that one, Joe, but came up a little too short of the plate and didn't have Grapel to swing.
And that is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Babula picks up that 3rd strikeout I just referenced and sets John Jay down in the top half of the 4th inning without a run coming home. Our score remains 8-0 Hunter College. We'll be right back with the bottom half of the 4th inning on CSI Sportsnet.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
In New York City, there is a place for people that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, where if you work hard, the possibilities are endless. A place to learn, train, and play. In that order, the City University of New York Athletic Conference. This is where it all comes together. Find your people, be a part of a team, and don't just play the game, change the game. Champions aren't born, they're built. The City University of New York. Be exceptional.
Register for Army ROTC to be a leader and an officer in the U.S. Army, Army Reserve, or Army National Guard. You could also be eligible for a full-time scholarship. Lead the team that makes a difference. Contact CUNY ROTC today at 212-650-6478. Again, that's 212-650-6478, paid for by the U.S. Army.
Roy quickly retired for the first out. You mentioned a defensive replacement for Hunter College in the previous inning. Retired on the ground out to get things started in the bottom half of the fourth. And that will bring up Allie Bricker, who's 2 for 2.
So Carmen Roy getting an at-bat for the Hawks. Joe coming in going 3 for 14. Grounds out quickly for the first out.
There you get a look at the numbers for Bricker. 2 for 2 in this game, looking for base hit number 3 right here. She's ahead in the count 1-0. That's taken downstairs for ball 2.
We'd also like to thank Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the CUNY Athletic Conference.
Well, if this game does come to an end in 5, we'll have a break in the action. A great time to grab a Pepsi, but that out will be recorded at first. As I was about to say, that won't get us there any quicker, but once again, Rivera with a nice stretch over at first base. A good recovery over at shortstop as well by Brianna Schmidt to make the play in time for out number 2.
Yeah, nice job that time by Schmidt to really stick with that one, Joe, and showed a nice arm getting it over to first, just in time to get Bricker for the second out.
That will bring up Jamie Durso with 2 away. The base is empty, and she looks at ball 1. We do have a scoring update from baseball. 3-0 Dolphins in the bottom half of the second inning as CSI looks to force a decisive winner-take-all game number 3 in the CUNYAC Baseball Championship. So certainly something to keep an eye on there, and we'll continue to do so throughout the day from down here at softball.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. You know, it's nice for the Dolphins to get off to a good start here this afternoon. I should say at least it's good for the Dolphins. They fell behind 2-0 in the game yesterday, came back to tie it at 2. Baruch went ahead 4-2. They never led in that game, that first game yesterday, taking an early lead here this afternoon and allowing them to play out in front.
And we've spoken about it several times throughout the year already. The Dolphins falling behind quite a bit and doing so early in many of their games throughout the 2019 season. And to get an early 3-run lead is definitely something that will help them in winning this afternoon's matchup with the Bearcats. Not often that their pitchers have been able to throw from ahead in the game, and they've afforded Salvatore Trancucci that luxury out on the mound as that one is in for strike 3. So the inning comes to a close with that punch out. And heading into the 5th, our score will remain 8-0 in favor of Hunter College. And Mike, it's already last opportunity for John Jay in the top half of the 5th. When we come back, this game will end with a score of 8-0 if the Bloodhounds fail to cash in come the next half inning. We'll be right back with more 2019 CUNYAC Softball Championship coverage on CSI Sportsnet.
If it weren't for CUNY, I probably would have second-guessed my potential. I'm a first generation in terms of going to college, getting a degree. I'm able to provide for my family a lot more, and it's something that I didn't think was originally possible. CUNY is equalizing the playing field for students, particularly students of color, students who are low income, and students who are first generation.
Nobody in my family went to college. Now I not only learned English, I graduated and then I am teaching English, helping immigrants.
The commissioner.
When I was 6, my days
from
were
the
spent playing
commissioner.
basketball.
As Mike has relayed
When I was 6,
information
my
along
dream
to
was
me,
to
we
make it
will
to
be
the
waiting
NBA.
at least 45
When I
minutes
was
following
6,
the conclusion of this game
my
for
mom
our
had a
next
stroke.
CUNYAC softball matchup between the Dolphins
I'm Paul George,
right
and I
now it
want
looks
you
like
to
the Hunter
spot a
College
stroke
Hawks.
fast. F.
John Jay
Face
hopes
drooping.
to change that. And
When I was 6,
that
my
may
days
get it
were spent
started as that
playing
one
basketball.
falls into shallow left field for a
When I was
base hit
6,
off the bat
my
of Anelsa
dreams was to make
Salcedo.
it to the NBA.
Yeah, good job that time by
When I was 6,
Salcedo is she's able to
my
get
mom had a
the
stroke.
Bloodhound started in a positive way
Well, I'm Paul George,
as
and I
she
want you to
gets
spot a
the
stroke
fourth
fast.
hit of
F,
the
face
afternoon
drooping.
here for
A,
Hunter College.
arm
Zelia
weakness.
came
S,
in batting
speech
271 on the
T,
afternoon
time to
and
call
gets the
911.
Bloodhounds going in their
Protect
half
the
of the
ones
fifth.
you love. Spot a stroke
Base
fast.
runner for John Jay, as that one is tapped down the
When I
first
was
base
6,
my and
my
rolls
days were
foul.
spent playing basketball.
Nice
When I
job
was
that
6,
time,
my dream was to
Joe,
make it to
by
the
Hunter College as Riamaldi allowed that ball to roll foul. It looked like they were tempted to pick it up, smartly letting it roll foul for a strike. And now Babula ahead in the count at 0-1.
Salcedo, the runner, over at first, and the 0-1 pitch is bunted foul. So Lopez quickly in a two-strike call, and John Jay just playing to keep themselves in this game right now as they look to bunt that runner on first into scoring position and make sure they get at least one home here in the fifth.
Yeah, Lopez, 21 of 78 coming into the game here this afternoon, Joe. Just one extra base hit, that a double, and 19 RBIs.
That's fouled back. Count remains 0-2. Top half of the fifth inning from the CSI softball complex. Hunter leading John Jay 8-0. Bloodhounds looking to stay alive, and that won't help them do so as Lopez goes down swinging for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Babula picking up her fourth strikeout of the afternoon, and the Hawks find themselves just 2 outs away from making the championship round once again for the 6th time in 7 years.
Brianna Schmidt, the batter. She fouls the first pitch off, and no play for the Hawks as that one's over the fence.
Schmidt was out attempting to bunt in the 3rd inning, 2-3, and look how far in, Joe, the Hunter College infield is against the shortstop, Brianna Schmidt.
Well, they're still expecting a bunt as John Jay looks to prolong this game. And that misses up and away to even the count at 1-1 strike. There you get a look at the numbers on the season for Schmidt.
And just like Lopez, Joe, Schmidt just with 1 double on the year, her only extra base hit.
That one bunted foul. And once again, a 2-strike count. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Schmidt.
Tommy Mandel, the Bloodhound, with 2 of the 4 hits here this afternoon against Babula on deck.
I'm taking a look at some of the batting numbers for John Jay. I'm not sure these have been updated as I'm looking what I have on my screen, what I have on my iPad. They are not the same, so I have to apologize for that. It looks like the top half of the lineup is correct. I'm not sure about the bottom half, so I'll have to double check those if this game goes on. But as we stand, it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out, as that's a bit of a half-hearted swing, and she went around for strike 3, so that will be the 2nd out of the inning as Schmidt goes down. Bloodhounds now down to their final out with Tommy Mandel coming to bat.
Yeah, so Babula now with 5 strikeouts, Joe, 2 in a row here this inning, and Hunter down to their final at-bat.
And that's through the middle for a base hit to keep this one going. Mandel now has 3 hits in the game, 3 for 3 at the plate. Unfortunately, that hasn't been enough to help her team play to run, but it will keep them alive for Jessica Barberia.
And Barbaria's hit the ball hard twice, Joe. She's lined out to right and lined out to left.
John Jay still down to their final out. As I think I hear some cheering from up the hill. I'll have to get another check on the score. I think you're ahead of me on that one, Mike.
I'm trying.
8-0 our score in the top of the 5th here as that called strike evens the count at 1-1. And the 1-1 is down in the dirt for ball 2. comes the 2-1. And that is in for a called strike 2. So John Jay now down to their final strike in this game. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And that just missed. Count now full. Base runners will get a head start.
Joe, that noise up the hill is Baruch scoring 2 runs in their half of the third inning. Still just 1 out. They have a runner at first base, and they've made it a 3-2 game.
And our game here is over with that pop-up on the infield. Babula makes the catch, and that is it for John Jay in this CUNYAC softball tournament 2019. They fall to Hunter College in 5 by a final score of 8-0. And Mike, of course, Hunter College, the favorites entering this matchup, and they will indeed get a rematch with the College of Staten Island. We saw those two teams play yesterday. CSI won that game 9-5 in 7, and the Dolphins and Hawks will take the field in approximately 45 minutes.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's been clearly the 2 best teams in the conference throughout the entire 2019 year. Hunter won the first game of the regular season. Dolphins came back, won game number 2. Dolphins got the edge up in the CUNYAC tournament yesterday with that big 9-5 win, but Ali Marr injured and out of the competition here this afternoon. It should be a great afternoon of softball here, Joe, in about 45 minutes.
So when we come back, Mike and I will update you on the score at baseball, and we'll preview our upcoming softball matchup between the Dolphins and Hawks. A win clinches the CUNYAC championship for the College of Staten Island. The Hawks will need to win back-to-back games against CSI to win the 2019 CUNYAC title and break the consecutive streak of CSI championships. So that's all for Mike and I with coverage of this first game of Day 2 of the 2019 CUNYAC Championship Tournament. Hunter College defeats John Jay College by a final score of 8-0. More 2019 CUNYAC Softball Championship coverage on CSI Sportsnet when Mike and I return in approximately 30 minutes.